For quite some time, I've done this channel fully based around some space games, whether they be Star Citizen, which is what the channel's named for, Kerbal Space Program, or Elite Dangerous. Sprinkle in a little bit of War Thunder and a couple of other little knickknacks from time to time, and you have pretty much what my channel's been. Well, the channel is actually named after me, my name, Nicole D'Angelo. And inside of the Star Citizen videos, I take on the persona, Nikki Batgirl D'Angelo. But in reality, I have a far-reaching love of different games, which is why I had the podcast years ago called The Addicted Gamer. Well, I've got a guilty pleasure, and I'm here to share it with you today. It's called World of Tanks. Alright, yes, I know. It's tanks, it's a boys game, and it's kind of difficult to grasp for most people. So let me not show you from the perspective of how to play this game, because in reality, I suck at this game. But let me tell you why I like this game. Alright? So let's go on from here. Here we are in what you would call a hangar in Star Citizen. This is my garage, or garage, as they say in the US. I live with a Brit, so I say it weird sometimes. This is a T-26E4. This is an M4. These are the tanks that I love so much in the game. This particular one is done in PBR, kind of like the cool ships in Star Citizen. Why do I like it so much? You know, I think it has to do with the strategy of how these games work out. It's not just rush in, shoot, and kill somebody. You really have to think, and you have to have tactics, and you have to work together to win as a team in this game. And the best part of it yet is that when you get killed, you're dead. You don't get back up and come back to get into the game and kill the person that killed you. It takes strategy to win. This is another one of my favorite tanks. It's a Stug. It's just a good tank destroyer, and I love playing it. If you look at the detail of these tanks, you'll see what gets me into them. And I'm a shipaholic in Star Citizen, and I'm definitely a tankaholic here. So one thing that I'm going to talk about today is I'm going to show you two games where I did well at. The majority of the games I have played, I do average to subpar, sub-average. I have a couple of games every now and then where I do really well, but most of the time I'm really average. There are so many good players of this game and so many YouTubers where you can learn how to play the game. For me, all you're going to learn here is pretty much why I love it. Okay, I said that twice now, all right? So if you're looking to learn how to play the game, I'm going to give you 3 people who you can watch. The first one is my favorite. It's the Mighty Jingles, and his feed will appear here, or at least a link. The next one is Quickie Baby TV. I love listening to him talk, and I love listening to him describe the tanks, and sometimes I just love listening and not knowing what he's talking about. It's pretty cool. But he will teach you how to play the game, and he is amazing at it. And the last person is Surfage. There's other people out there. These are the people that I've latched onto and listened to and have helped me out immensely. If you go back and watch some of Sidescrape's videos, and I'll put him up here, he's had some pretty good ones in the past, but he's moving on to some other content lately. I'm sure he'll get back to World of Tanks at some point. Alright, that's a KV-1, probably a KV-1S. Pretty cool tank, right? So let's get into the game and I'll explain what's going on. So on this first map, I think it's called Winter Helmsdorf. I'm sitting here in my T-26E4. It's a premium tank, which means I had to spend money on it. I purchased it during one of those 50% off events, so I got it at a good deal. Why you want premium tanks is twofold. The first reason is because they make a lot of cash for you, in-game cash, so you can buy other tanks and buy modules. The second reason is, right out of the bat, you can accelerate your crew training on them, thus training the crews of your other tanks of that class. In this case, medium tanks, like my Pershing, not my Pershing, like my M4 and my EZ8 M4 and my M7. So here I am, and immediately I went away from where the heavy tanks fight up top. Why? I figured I've got this really cool tank. I could shoot down here, and since I've learned how to side scrape and to take a bit of damage, maybe I'd be able to pretty much hold down this part of the area so the guys that really know how to play can fight it out up top. So here I am down in the streets of Winterhelmsdorf, and the first thing I got is a German tank destroyer, which myself and I believe a T-29 behind me, which is an American heavy tank that never really existed, but they put in the game anyway. It helped me take this guy out. We're shooting down the road over here, and we're looking, and there's another big tank. That's a T-34. That's an American heavy tank that was never made again. It's got a lot of armor, it has a big gun, but it's not being played by a very competent tanker right now. Why do I say that? I don't think he's bad or he stinks at all. He's probably in the same place that I'm at, not knowing how to play the game yet. And he's trying to get away instead of trying to angle his armor and use it to his benefit. And I just shoot out over here, and I'm making sure that my armor is angled enough, but he gives me his front to shoot at. The rest of the time I'm here, I'm just trying to hold him down so the T-29 could come over and just shoot him and kill him. So I'm trying to keep him pinned, not let him go, and oop, he got one into me, and I didn't do anything to him, and all of a sudden, keeping him pinned, T-29 kills him. So that actually worked out good for me. So now we're going to turn down this alleyway over here. Let's go. T-29, yep, there he is, my buddy. He's helping me out. We're not platooned, but we just started working together. And this happens in random battles when you find someone that's good. And this T-29 player was actually good and helped me out a lot. We're going to shoot up from here and go north on the map. And pretty much they've left nobody back here to stop us. And that's pretty usual for this map when it's an encounter. Some people go over there to hold down the potential assault point, and the other people go up top to fight the heavy tanks in the hill behind us. So up ahead we're going to have a couple of heavy tanks, an ARL, and I forget what else. So T-29 goes off to the right, I go off to the left. I'm going to be using him, I think at least, this is what I was hoping, to shoot the tanks that I spot. So he goes and disappears and goes help this guy off to my right, the SU-100. But I sense that there's a guy around the corner. Why? Because I'm looking at my mini-map and trying to see where the action is. We are now down 4 tanks, so it's not looking good for us. First thing I find over here is an IS, right? No, it's a T-25-2 and an SU-100. The T-25-2 is an American tank destroyer. It's got a big gun, a 90 millimeter. It's not that hard of a target to kill. He's just going to keep on spamming and hitting me and hitting that armor that I have and not getting anywhere. I pull back behind so the SU-100 doesn't get me, and I kill the T-25-2. Now going to pull up just a little bit, and I'm going to start trying to play with this guy and get him to go around the tank over here. I'm going to try to keep him pinned. I'm looking around my mini-map, making sure nobody else is there, and I think I look up and I take a pot shot at one point because it makes more sense, but let's see. No, I think that's a little bit later. So we're going to come over here, and T-29 right now is still off behind me in the, managing the cap circle, and he's going to get whiff of something going on over here in just a little bit. He's going to look at the mini-map and come and help me. So what I'm trying to do is get around this to try to track the T-100, because once I have him tracked, he's an easy kill. He's good, and I'm not as good as I'm playing today, but, I'm taking him out little by little, and all of a sudden I get flanked, and it's time for me to go. Now the SU-100 has nothing to do but to go there, but the tank in front of me, the IS, has my SU-100 and my T-29 that are going to come and help me out. We're now 10-11. Behind me is the T-29 that came to help me. He's going to take out the IS for me. And I'm going to take out the SU-100 eventually. Let me get a couple into him. I bounce a couple of shots, I miss a couple of shots. That's just typical of my gameplay at this point. And this is what I like about it. My heart is racing right now. I know there's a guy off to my left somewhere. The T-29 can't see him. The SU-100's trying to kill me. He's got a big gun, and I take him out. Now to my left was a T-25-2. I'm going to try to go get him. I already have 2,376 damage done. And I'm going to end this match with just under 2,500. I mean, 3,000. So I come around here, I see the T-25-2, and let's see what goes on here. I take a pot shot at him now, and the T-29 should have killed him. Does he? Or do I kill him? Let's see. Ooh, I kill him. And now the only tank left. We were down four tanks. We were down 11-7, and we've just gone on a 7-0 win. 7-0 tanks. So I take a look up here. T-29 takes a look up here, and we see our IS is having fun with this. I think he's an AT-8 or something like that. He's a British tank destroyer, and the two of us are just going to take some pot shots at him, and bam, the IS kills him. So let's take a look at the stats. So that one was a tough one. I haven't played that well ever. Well, obviously I have, but my normal days are nowhere near that. So when you look at this, I damaged 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tanks. I had some way of getting damage on. I got a steel wall, which is really, really important because it means I took the most potential damage and blocked most of it by my armor. I got high caliber for getting the most damage in the game. I made 95,512 credits because it's a premium tank and it makes extra credits, and I got 3,594 experience. And the way that's calculated is it's if you look at 2396, this number that's off to the left under without premium, that's double. So it'd be somewhere around whatever that is cut in two, and with premium it gets like 50% more. So I made a lot of experience on that. But what did I actually do? Let's go into the team score. So I ranked first with 2982 in damage. The second place guy was at 1,049, and then, oh sorry, that wasn't the second place guy. Second place guy was at 2,130, but he died. And then 1475, and he died. And then the T20 at 1461, and that T29 that was helping me out, he was half, right? Half of what I was doing. And he was backing me up. And I think it's because he has a slower reload time. Obviously, I don't want to know what I'm doing, so you're not learning from me. You're learning why I love this game. When you look at it, I had 26 shots fired. 21 of them were direct hits. Only 14 penetrated, which was bad placement of the shots on my part. Something I got to learn is where to fire. Hits received, 17 of them, 6 of them penetrated, 11 non-penetrating shots, and I blocked 2,400 damage with my armor, which is awesome. I spotted 3 vehicles and damaged 8, and 5 vehicles were destroyed directly by me. This is not tooting my horn. There's so many people that do way better than this. And to get a first class on this means that there was still 10% of the players that play this tank in the last week have done better than me. So there's a lot of people that are playing that are way better than me. So let's move on from here. Alright, so this next one is on a totally different map entirely. The map is called Pearl River. It's one of my favorite maps. It offers a lot of different ways to fight, little different canyons you go up and down, and there's just a lot going on in this map. So immediately I start wondering where I'm going to go. So what I do is I put it into auto drive, which is hitting the R, which isn't really auto drive, and I start looking at the map. And I start watching the wave of green tanks, my own guys going out, and I decide which way am I going to go. And now I'm heading in the way I want to go, and I'm just trying to make sure that there are enough tanks going behind me to keep people from overwhelming us. This is going to, well, I'm not going to give it away. Well, let's just watch and see what happens. So I decide that I'm going to go up here. So I've already, gone a little bit too slow. So I'm letting some other tanks go ahead of me that are going to be without backup, without me. So that I probably should have gone out faster. Here's a American tank destroyer, turreted tank destroyer in front of me. Really big gun. But of course, it's got paper for armor, so he's going to try to hide somewhere in the bushes up here. He becomes instrumental in helping me later on. So, whoever you are, thank you so much for making it easy for me to live. So, this particular game is actually one of my better ones. So, I'm sorry for the tank taking so long to drive. This, again, is my Super Pershing. And you can tell, I'm not loaded with any premium ammo. I don't have any equipment upgrades. So no medium tank gun rammer, no ventilation. I don't have any crew skills trained, but my crew is at 100% and currently trying to train, I believe, repair. So I don't have anything major on this. So I'm not one of those players that have been playing for years that have a fully skilled out crew and a tank with all the extras. But the other advantage here is I'm not playing against the best players in the world either. There is no Quickie Baby, Circumflex, Jingles, or anyone like that on the other team. There you see a Centurion that got himself over here really fast and realized that there were a bunch of tanks on the other side of this area. And let's just take a look and see exactly what we're up against, okay? So we're up against these 3 or 4 tanks that are over here that are all coming at us. I mean, you see this? So we also have a couple that are hidden. So we have a T-44 and I believe a Centurion and another Super Pershing over here, right? So the Centurion looked at it and said, hey, it's 3-on-1. I'm going to bugger off. And he took off. But as soon as he sees that I'm here, he's going to come over and help me do away with these 3 people. Just take a look. I'm just trying to get a good beat on these to give you guys an idea of what's going on over here, okay? So there's the Centurion, there's me, and here's the 3 guys over here. Maybe I'm overdoing this a little bit. I should have probably cut this down just a tad bit. Let's get back in, let's hit play, and let's see what goes on. So this is another one of those situations where I'm perfectly angled, but I'm not snapshotting or anything real good. That was actually a good hit on one of those tanks. And oh wow, we actually have 4 there. We have a Chinyu, we have a T-44, we have a Centurion, and we have a Super Pershing all over there. 4 tanks. We lost this, I believe that's an AMX that we lost over there when we first came over with the Centurion. And here we are, myself and the Centurion, just trying to take these guys down. Now, I've been hit once already, and what I'm trying to do is trying to track one of the guys so the Centurion could then get a shot into its side. But it's not working out for me, so I just decide, you know what, I'm just going to try and get in the lower plates of these guys and try to take 1 or 2 of them out. So there I am, pointing down and firing, and bounces right off the angled armor. Now, I could explain all that to you, but so many people have done it so much better. Let me tell you, when you have your... Here we go. Right off the... I'm not shooting at the right time. And at that point I was trying to go for the turret ring and I missed it. So now I'm done. We're down 3 tanks already. We're down 5-2. Things are going bad. And I got the Super Pershing right where I wanted to, which was right in the lower plate. That's the softest part of him. He just took out one of the tanks. Pretty cool. Behind us is a really big German. There he is. A really big German... There he is. Come on, German tank destroyer. It's a Ram or a Waffenstrager, right? PZ4 something or other. If you look at the top left, he's just the second guy in line. He's a tier 9 tank destroyer. So we're going to come around this way. The Centurion already has this guy taken care of. He's going to do essentially what I did in the last one, trying to pin this guy down so I could take him out. This is my twin. It's a Super Pershing. And all I'm going to do is blow him up. Bam. He got a nice shot into me because I forgot to angle. This guy kind of pushes him off into the side so I can get a nice shot into him. Awesome job, Mr. Centurion. We are now down one tank. Alright? But all the action seems to be going on the other side. We're about ready to lose that northeastern flank. And all of a sudden there's going to be a sea of enemy tanks coming across that river and into our cap zone. And essentially we've got a bolt, and that's what I'm trying to show you. See up there off to the right? We have one guy left, and in a couple of seconds that guy's dead. See? So all of a sudden all those guys are going to come running. So Centurion says, come on, let's go. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and try to see if I can get one of these tanks off to the right this way. If we can whittle them down now, we're going to be able to get a much better evenly match when we get up there. We're now down 3 tanks. It's 9-6. And I'm waiting for this guy to come around. I get a nice shot into him. And out of nowhere, I'm going to back up, and I don't know what I'm thinking. And here's going to be coming another tank in like 2 seconds. Watch. Here we go. We back up. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, bang. And there goes that Type 34, I think it was. Not sure. And now, there's an SU-152 behind us. So that T-28 prototype, which I told you to take a look at before, is off by itself over here. And he's got to fight this SU-152 with that huge gun. And he's going to keep him pretty much backed up into a wall because both of them have a huge gun and neither one of them has the armor to withstand a shot from the other one. So he doesn't know I'm coming. I'm coming around. I'm going to swing around here and I'm going to end it for this guy with 2 shots. I should have waited a little bit and shot him in the rear end or the side, but he's gone now. So that was teamwork again. We're now up a tank, 12-11. They've got 3 heavy tanks. We've got no heavy tanks. We've got myself in the medium, and we have 3 tank destroyers. It's evenly matched, believe it or not. They have an IS-4 hard nut to crack. I think that's a low. That's another hard nut to crack. And a T-34, which you saw me take out along with, I think it was the T-29 in the last one of these replays. So we're coming around here. I'm trying to get up there to the Waffenstrager and the PZ, the WT Auf PZ4. I wish I knew German. And I'm going up there, and again, out of nowhere, I look to my right, and there's a tank. That's the second time I've been in this area. And he gets a side shot into me for 400 hit points. Holy cow, what was going on there? And I'm going right to the lower plate again. For some reason, this guy's not angling, and I turned my front on him for some stupid reason. And now he's got to worry about me and the Waffenstrager. So he's looking at me like, oh, this girl's just 1 shot away from dying from me. I've only got a few hit points left, right? So he's trying to play the game where I'm not going to know where to shoot him, and he just keeps on giving me that lower plate. So there I go. I've got 2,495 damage out there. We've got 14 tanks, and all we need to do now is kill 1 last tank. And that tank is going to be the IS-6, 4, 8. I can't read this at all today, which is kind of weird. I think it's an IS-4. So I start going up here, and he says, you know what? Look at the map. Look at the map. Look where the guy is. And, of course, everything is all through them pinging the map, not actually saying anything. So I decide, all right, it's time to run off in this direction and find out what's going on. So we bolt down here, and we find out what's going on. And yes, it's boring, but you know, maybe we can. I gotta figure out a way to make these go faster in the future. So we're bolting down here, and he's gonna get a perfect shot on him in just a second. Now, the IS-4, I believe, has some heavy armor because I've tried to shoot IS-3s and I continuously bounce off them. Or maybe those are the KV-3s that I bounce off of all the time. So we get down here. T-28 prototype has that side blocked. The Waffenstrager is going to go that way. That's a sweet tank. Also a tank destroyer. Nice big gun. Makes a loud noise. I like it. So far, the tanks that I've leveled myself, I'm only at tier 7. I don't have any tier 8 or 9, or I should say tier 6. I don't think I have any tier 7. Yeah, I have a tier 7. I don't have any tier 8, 9, or 10 tanks yet, except for the one I bought, this one. And here we go. We're going to go down. Waffenstrager's taking that way. I'm going this way. Essentially, no matter which way this guy goes, he has somebody pointing a gun at him. So he has to pick the which way to go. He doesn't know that we're up here either. So he's just come off the cliff. I think he blew his track when he fell off of it, and the Waffenstrager took him out. So that is that match. So of course that was a good game. 100,318 credits, another steel wall, and my first real mastery badge. And why I say real, I didn't stumble into it. I played hard. So I'm going to cut this one short and just show you what happens in reality when I play. I'm going to put up a nice little video of myself and Dr. Hawk and what normally happens when we play. Okay, so this one isn't done through a replay. I actually recorded this one live. Myself and Dr. Hawk are in a platoon here. I don't platoon often, but when I do, I kind of like just to have fun. Now, Dr. Hawk and he's a lot better than me. He has 10 tier 10 tanks and stuff. But we hadn't gone into this game to actually do anything but just to hang out together. We were talking about what the next podcast is going to be for Star Citizen Informer, and then we jumped into the game just to have a little fun and blow off a little bit of steam. Dr. Hawk does something amazing here. He's actually trying to teach me how to play the game, but at the same time, the two of us are distracted by our conversation. So we're going up the ridge over here, and of course, on the other side of of this valley, there's a battle going on, and we're not watching the map and seeing that our guys are just pretty much melting away. So I jump up here real fast, and all of a sudden, I get hit. Bang! I pull back, and he comes over and says, "No, I'm hull down. Don't worry. Watch me." And all of a sudden he says, "You know what? Screw it," and flies off the ledge. So I continue to play this game, going up and down. I'm watching the team melt away. Dr. Hawk says he's done for the night. So I just booked this way. I figure I'm going to just see who was hitting me. I think I find a Matilda or something down there. I do. Found a Matilda. Hit him once. Oh, it wasn't a Matilda. That was something else. Hit him again, and all of a sudden, bang, 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 I get destroyed. So that is exactly what normally happens to me in World of Tanks. But I love it. I love the strategy. I love the heart racing when it's time to meet your maker. And, it's just a fun game for me. And I like it a lot. So that's all I have for you today. This has been the first episode of World of Tanks AA, and I'm going to add it to the rest of my AA games. If you guys like it, please choose like at the bottom. And if you think that I should do anything else in the future, just give me a yell. The future videos in this series are going to be a lot shorter. I just wanted to make this one so I can explain to you guys what I love about the game. Well, you all be safe out there, and I'll talk to you soon.